Hi everyone, this is Susie. Today we're going to be making some corn tamales. And before I show you the rest of the ingredients, the first thing we're going to do is soak our tamales leaves, whatever you call these. These are like dried leaves. I think they come from the corn. Yeah, these. But you have to, because they're dry, we have to rehydrate them again so that they can soft and you can fold them up to make your tamales if you've never done this before. And these tamales are vegan, and also they are a little sweet, but you can also make them more savory if you don't like them sweet. I grew up eating them a little sweet, so that's how I like them. But I know other people like it a little bit more savory, so it'll be up to you. Okay, so let's get started. So these are the hojas para tamales, and you get this in the dry section where you get your dry chiles and spices and things like that, okay? And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to grab my pot and I'm going to put my hojas in here. And it's about maybe around 20 of them. I think I'm going to make, the amount is going to be for like about 12 tamales, but I'd rather have extra than not have enough. So I'm just going to put them in there, and I'm just going to add hot tap water to them, like as much as you need to cover it. Okay, so here you can see that there's enough water to cover, and what I like to do is I just like to put a heavy plate or something on top just to make sure that they are, that they stay down and that they soak completely until softened, and that should take about any time from 30 minutes to an hour, okay? Okay, and just before we get started, I do want you to know that we are going to be needing a food processor and a steaming or steamer basket, however you call these, to put your tamales in to steam them. So just so you know. Okay, so the ingredients for the tamales are going to be some fresh corn, a little bit of butter, vegan butter, baking powder, some salt, and some sugar. I have some vegan cane sugar here, and also some Masa Harina, okay? There you go. And we're going to be serving, once the tamales are done, we serve these with a little bit of vegan sour cream and some salsa de tomatillo or tomatillo salsa, and which is a little spicy. So they're like a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy. In case, if you like that combination, I think you'll like this. Okay, just a couple things. I do keep my Masa Harina or harina de maíz, I do keep this in the freezer. I wrap it in a plastic bag and I put it in the freezer just so that it'll last longer. That way it won't go bad. So you can do that in case you don't use it so often. That way you make sure it lasts a long time. And the other thing, the way I do my corn, you probably, this is just my way of doing it. I cut it in half, and that way I feel like it doesn't go all over the place. So that's a little tip for you. And we also want 4 cups of corn, okay? And you can use frozen if you want. I just prefer fresh, but it's up to you. Okay, so now we're going to place our corn in the food processor. Okay, so that was about 4 cups of corn, which was about 6 ears of corn, more or less, depending on how big it is. And then we have about 1 teaspoon of salt, 1.5 tablespoons of vegan butter, and it's probably better if it is a little bit softened, not so hard. And I have about 3 tablespoons of sugar. You can start with less if you don't want it too sweet, or like I said, you can leave the sugar out and just add maybe a little bit more salt if you think it needs it, just so that they're savory versus sweet. However, this is how they make them in my town, my hometown. So I will add the 3 tablespoons of sugar, and we're just going to process this until smooth, okay? I know I said process until smooth, but no, I did not mean that. I processed this for about 20 seconds, and this is what it looks like. So it's still a little bit chunky. You can still see the texture of the corn, okay? So that's what you want. So now we're going to go ahead and add the Masa Harina, which was about 3/4 of a cup. And again, we're going to process this for a few seconds just to incorporate them. So I processed that for about 6 or 7 seconds. And this is what it looks like. So it's a little bit thicker consistency, which is what we want. And if for some reason your consistency is a little runny, that means that your corn was a little too juicy. And you may want to add a bit more, maybe another 1/4 of a cup of the Masa Harina, just to make it a little bit thicker so that it won't be too runny when you put it in your tamales, in your tamal leaves, okay? And now we're just going to transfer our mixture into a bowl. And now we're just going to add the 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And this will just help make it like kind of fluffy and delicious. Oh my goodness, can't wait. I can't wait. This gets me excited. Yay! Okay, now the fun part begins. Okay, so now I'm just going to grab my hojas de tamal and I'm going to place them here because I'm going to be using this same pot to bake them or steam them. So I'm just going to rinse that out. Oops. And I have my little steam rack right here. And what you want to do is now we're just going to put the filling in the tamales. And depending on how big your leaf is, you might need to add 2, put 2 together. If it's too small, if it's good enough, then you just need 1. And about that much. You roll it up carefully, like this, and you just place it in your little steamer. You can make these as big as you want, if you want them a little bit bigger, if you want them smaller, but about maybe 2 of this, 1.5 spoonfuls or so is enough. Okay. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Okay. These are nice and big. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we're just going to keep doing this until we are done with all the batter. Just wanted to show you real quick. Like these that are super small, you can just stack them like that, one on top of another, so that you make it wider. And then you just place the filling the same, carefully. And just fold it over. Like that. And that's it. So that way you don't have to have the big leaves, you can have the small ones and make use of them as well, okay? And like I say, if you do think that this is a little runny, you can add a little bit more Masa Harina, just mix it in there, just eyeball it, and then to fit your liking. Okay, so we got 11 tamales from there, like I said, or anywhere around, 10 or 12 you'll get this size. And I know that some people will tie a little piece around this. I'll show you how. I don't think it's necessary if you stack them really well. I don't think it's necessary. And this was all the leaves that we had left. So because we did use on some of them too. So it's better that you go a little bit overboard. You don't do just 12. Just try to make 20 or 25, something like that. Okay? So some people will grab a little bit of this and then just use it and tie around a little knot just so that it doesn't fall apart. But I don't think that it's necessary. You can if you want to, and that's an extra step that you don't have to do. So I don't think it's necessary, but it's up to you. You can do it if you want. And that's it. So now we are going to steam them. So here I have my big pot, and I have water up to here, just to make sure. It's about maybe 8 cups or so, and you just want to, you can start this in advance so that the water is already heated, and that way it'll be a quicker process, a little bit quicker. And you just want to put your steamer on top. However you do your steaming, that is up to you, okay? And then the other thing you can do is with the leftover leaves that you had soaked, you can just cover this up and then put your lid on top. I'm just going to let these steam. And you do want to check the water once in a while just to make sure it has enough water to, to steam the tamales. And they should be ready in 1 hour. So yeah, in the meantime, we'll get the salsa ready, okay? Okay, so now I have some tomatillos, and you want these to be about the same size so that they cook evenly. And you just peel them, and you're going to rinse this under cold water, and then we'll be back. So I have about 6 small tomatillos, and I just cover them with water, and we're going to boil these until soft. I think it takes about 20 minutes or so. And also, you can add, at this point, you can add your chile de árbol. I would add about maybe 4, 5, or 6. But you can start with like 1 or 2 if you don't like it too spicy. And then you would just add that in there and boil everything together. You would cover it up and boil everything together. But if you have my hot sauce, my homemade hot sauce, I prefer this because that way I don't have to worry about, did I put enough chiles? Is it too much? Is it, then what I'm going to do with the leftovers? So this way I just add according to my taste. If I need more, I just add more from the hot sauce that I make, that I have a video for as well. The picante or chile bruto, however you call it. And yeah, so we're just going to let these boil and we'll be back. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes for the tomatillos, and I ended up adding the chiles in there just so you could see. Since some of these have started to burst, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn off the heat, and I'm just going to leave them covered so that they finish steaming. And then, so I'll just leave them for about 5 or 10 minutes there, okay? So that they finish cooking. Okay, so now we're going to make the tomatillo salsa, and I just have a clove of garlic, or 2 or 3, as many as you want. And I'm just going to add my tomatillos and my chiles in there. This is a really simple salsa. It's good for like a basic tomatillo salsa that you can use for many things. And we're going to add a little bit of salt. And we're just going to blend this until smooth, okay? Okay, so this yielded about 1 cup of the tomatillo salsa, and this is ready to go. So the 3 chiles made it pretty spicy, so if you don't like it that spicy, I would only add 1 chile to the 6 tomatillos, okay? Okay, so it's been an hour since I put the tamales to steam, and I think that because my steamer doesn't close all the way, like this, you can see, there's still like a little gap. That's why some of them are not totally cooked. If you have a steamer that is completely sealed, that it's getting the whole pressure. Sorry about that. So if you do have a steamer that is completely sealed, that it's getting all the pressure, the tamales should be done in 1 hour. And they would feel like firm to the touch. Like this one feels pretty firm to the touch, but then there's like another one that doesn't feel, this one feels a little bit more mushy. So that's why I'm going to leave them there for a little bit longer. Maybe 10-15 minutes or so, and then you want to turn it off and just let them sit for a little bit so that they become a little harder and easy to peel from the corn husk, okay? Okay, you guys, so I decided to use the other steamer because the one that was on the top, it wasn't working. So I had to put the one that goes in the bottom. Just make sure that you have enough water in there, and it should take about an hour. It took longer because I did it, I did it wrong, but anyways, just so you know, but they're ready. Okay, so I took out one of my tamales. I let it cool for a little bit because it was super hot and I wasn't going to be able to bite into it. So you can see how it peels pretty easily. And just throw that out. And now, all you have to do is grab a little bit of sour cream, your favorite vegan sour cream. If you make your own, that's better. If not, you can just get some store-bought sour cream. Just put a little bit of sour cream, and then you just put a little bit of the tomatillo hot sauce, and that's it. You just dig in. You see? Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is exciting. That is so good. Oh my goodness. These are really creamy. And then also, like, you can like put this in the refrigerator and you can have these cold, just like snack on them, like you just bite into them like a snack. Or if you want to reheat them, usually what I do is I just grab, a little baking dish. I put my tamales there, and I put it in my little oven, and you just want them, you want them to warm up, but it tastes really good if they get a little bit like char and crunchy. It gives it like that smoky flavor, and it's really, really good. That's when you reheat them. These were so good. Oh my goodness. And I think that these tamales are really good if you're just, if this is like the first time you make tamales, because they are a little bit elaborate, but this is really simple because you just put everything in the food processor, you blend everything in, you stuff your tamal leaves, and then you just cook them. So it's pretty simple. It is pretty simple. So I think this is a good beginner's recipe. Oh my goodness. It's so good. So, I hope you give it a try and like them. So just one last thing. Ow, that was hot. Okay, just one last thing. Just to make sure, so you know that they're done, you'll just touch them and they will be firm to the touch. That way you'll know. That would be one way. And then the other is that they'll peel off easily, as you see, like that. It won't be stuck to the husk. I think it's called husk. It won't be stuck. It'll just peel off pretty easy, and that's how you know that the tamales are done, okay? And you throw this out. And I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I hope that you like it. If you have any questions, let me know. And thanks so much for watching. Bye!